Okay, you've got your character all ready for your tabletop game. Or maybe you're writing fiction or getting ready for a LARP. For whatever reason, you've got an original character. And you've done all the groundwork. You know their backstory, you know their personality traits, you know their strengths and weaknesses and abilities. But knowing facts about them doesn't necessarily mean that you're in your character's head. And that ability to take on your character's perspective can be huge for role-playing and writing. Now, let's be clear, you can roleplay without going this deep. There are lots of ways to play, and you don't have to enjoy the same things that another player does. But for me, that commitment to character is one of the reasons I love games like D&D. I wanted to go deeper with my character, so I created a challenge to help me do that. And if you want to do the same thing, then maybe you'll find it useful too. It's a 7-day character development challenge. Anybody can do it. All it takes is 20 or 30 minutes every day for 1 week. Think of it like a character development boot camp, but like fun. Each day challenges you to get inside your character's mind or experience in a different way. You'll stretch your understanding of your character in ways that writing their backstory and role-playing them at the table doesn't. And if you commit to it, you'll come out with a deeper, more complex conception of your character. In this video, we're gonna do the challenge together for my Deep Gnome Barbarian, Penelope. Then you can try it out for your own character. So let's time travel to last week when I tackled day 1. Okay, day 1 of the character development challenge. Today's assignment is write a diary entry from the perspective of your character. So obviously this should be a day that's important to the character. I think I'm gonna write about the day that Penelope decided to leave home. And of course I have to make it thematic, so I'm gonna write it with a quill.
Dear Diary, I know what I have to do. Mom won't be happy, but it's for her own good. And everyone's good. I'll take Mabel and go to the surface. Maybe there I can find somebody who knows what's happening to me and how to stop it. I'll leave a note for Mom and she can tell Red Freckle. I don't know what I could say to him that I haven't already said. I can't stop imagining Mom when she finds out I'm gone, but I won't be gone long anyway, just a few weeks, until I find someone who can fix me. Well, I'd better write that note. Penelope.
Writing this really made me think a lot more about her relationship with her best friend, Red Freckle. I knew that when she left, he was a little bit afraid of her after witnessing her transformation, and she was afraid of hurting him. But I hadn't really thought about, like, had they had any conversations? Did they talk about this at all before she left? Did she tell him she was gonna leave? Did she leave a note for him? Day 2, we are making a collage, or in my case, a Pinterest board, to represent a place that is important to the character. I'm going to do Penelope's hometown, Bar Inen. I've already done a fair amount of conceptual world building about this place, but I haven't put a ton of legwork into the visuals yet, so this feels like a fun way to do that. Okay, so I've got some glowy cave interiors, some real, some fake. Okay, I'm uploading, I did a Photoshop of Mabel, her troglodyte, before for a Patreon PDF, so I'm uploading that. Up at the top we have like inside the houses, sort of like exploring the civilization of the people who live in Baranen, including Penelope and her mom. So we have a few like rustic medieval interiors, specifically without windows because they're underground. I honestly don't know if they would have wood. I think most of their stuff would be made out of stone, but we're working with what we can find on Pinterest. I also have like a cool picture of a cave dwelling because I imagine that it would be a little like that, like carved into the stone. We scroll down, we get into more of the Nen itself that Baranen is named for, which is a big underground ocean. I have some cool pictures of underground bodies of water. I also grabbed some weird looking fish and eels that I think they would fish out of the Nen. And as we keep scrolling, we get more of like the non-aquatic parts of Baranen. So we have a lot of cool pictures of bioluminescence underground, but also some cool concept art of like underground cities. And of course, lots of awesome art of myconids who coexist with the deep gnomes in this area. So now if our party ever gets to go there, I can kind of show them what it looks like. I also definitely feel like this gives me a better understanding of what the houses look like, because my DM, Jessie, was like, do they live in little mushroom houses? It's not like the Feywild, it's just like they live in caves and they farm mushrooms there. So I did want something a little more realistic, I guess. And now I have a way to illustrate that. Okay, day 3. Which 4 fictional characters best describe your character? So the first thing that comes to mind is River Tam from Firefly, because she's like a nice, sweet girl who's like made to do terrible things. Like River is incredibly dangerous, like deadly, but she doesn't try to be, she didn't decide to be. It's like something that happened to her. But I need a character that's like angry. Ooh, what about Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls? think that's actually perfect because Bubbles is so cute, but she also gets so mad. It's that dichotomy, like I can't just pick someone who gets mad, like the Hulk, because the cuteness is like part of the equation. Along those same veins, I'm thinking Vanellope von Schweetz from Wreck-It Ralph because she's so small and cute and adorable, and her attitude and her personality kind of contradict that vibe. She has like a cute image and a cute context, but she's also ready to throw down. For the last one, I think I want a character that can kind of invoke her like farm girl background, because that's a key part of her too. Okay, at first I was thinking Rapunzel from Tangled, which is very me, but instead I think I'm gonna go with Kenneth from 30 Rock. You know, he's like a country boy in the big city, he's naive, he's like a little out of his depth. She's not like fully like any of these characters, but I think together they have most of her key traits. Oh my god, I'm so happy that it's nice out. Hey, just came to say, it's nearly World Anvil's Play May Day.
World Anvil? The world-building platform for writers and game masters?
Yay, they're the sponsor today. Play May Day is quite a soiree. As we parlay, users are plugging away, writing adventures to play. An April holiday that will give way to the aforesaid day in May.
Why are you talking like that?
Wordplay.
Okay, let me get this straight. You're saying there's a World Anvil event in May, and it has to do with the adventures people are writing right now in April?
Hooray! Come May, they play in an online display. No need to pay.
On a free live stream? Wow, you're making this really unnecessarily complicated.
Play May Day is on the way, but if you let it slip away, more events are underway. You can't hold summer camp at bay. Spooktober won't scare me away. And World Ember's here to stay. It's not hearsay. Surveys say monthly events are A-okay.
I get it. World Anvil has a ton of community events. Now I guess you'll tell me a code I can use to get a discount on a membership or something?
Nay, I'll display.
Should have thought about whether or not the code rhymed before you started all this, huh?
Paper mache. Laurence Olivier, radioactive decay. It is day 4. Today we get to make a fake social media profile for our character. I think this is gonna be really fun, but also I think it's interesting to ask yourself how your character wants to be perceived by others in comparison to who they actually are. Because like social media is a fabrication, we all choose what to share. So what would your character choose to share? Found a website where you can like turn inputs into a fake Twitter profile, so I'm gonna do that and then come up with a few fake tweets. I made her username the Mush Ruckus. I follow back. Let's be friends. She's totally the kind of person who would follow back. Like, she's just trying to be nice and she wants to be friendly and she sees the best in everybody until they give her a reason not to. I follow back. Let's be friends. I'm a fun guy, I swear. Traveling the world, but bar none will always be home. Sorry, I can't get you drugs. I can only imagine that if she talks about being a mushroom farmer online, that's all that everybody's gonna think.
All right, what would Penelope tweet?
Being nice is free, unless they were an asshole first, in which case friendly reminder that being mean is also free. Does anyone else remember Twinkle Twinkle Little Fungus? My party is acting like I'm crazy. A guard was being rude, so I spent the whole afternoon sneaking ball bearings into his armor. Am I the asshole?
And then I had Vanya reply, you're the asshole, but it was still funny.
I think Penelope would come off as just like really sweet and nice online, and then every once in a while she would tweet something like completely unhinged, and then as soon as she calmed down, she would delete it, like in shame. Sound familiar? This low-key makes me want to just make a Twitter account for Penelope, but that would be ridiculous, right? That would be really silly. That would be silly.
Hey buddy, it is day 5. Bye. Take a personality quiz in character. Psych Central personality test. I don't know if this is like using a certain system or what, but apparently this is gonna tell us what Penelope's personality is. When you find something funny, hello. When you find something funny, you usually give a big appreciative laugh. When you dream, you are often... Ooh, she actually has had some dreams in game. I'm gonna go with searching for something or somebody. Get results. She is the loyal friend. Someone who's extremely loyal to the friends you do make and who expects the same loyalty in return. It takes a lot to shake your trust in your friends, but it takes you a long time to get over it if that trust is ever broken. I think that makes a lot of sense for her. It's not something I would have necessarily thought of. Yeah, I can dig that. I mean, I knew she was a loyal friend, but I think kind of adding that complexity that if her trust is broken, that's really hard for her to move on from. Okay, we're gonna figure out Penelope's toxic trait with this BuzzFeed quiz. Do you make daily to-do lists? I can't imagine she would ever do that. What do you wish you had more of? I think she probably needs more confidence, but she would pick friends. Penelope's toxic trait. She doesn't take enough time for herself. Penelope's major decisions have all been about protecting the people around her, not about herself. She blames herself for like everything negative that happens. So yeah, I think probably Penelope's not the type to treat herself. Day 6. I got my quill and parchment out again because today we are writing a letter from my character to another person. So I've decided she's gonna write a letter to her best friend, Red Freckle. Just feel like that relationship needs developing in my brain.
Dear Red Freckle, wow, I can't believe how long it's been since we've seen each other. I guess it's nearly time to harvest the moon blooms, huh? Last week we traveled to Tuatha Day. Can you believe it? We even got to visit another plane. We rescued my new friend Vanya's family there. Vanya's great, you'd love her. But don't worry, you're still my best friend. I'm sure I'll be back soon and we can swim in the Nen together again. How are you doing? Then there's a line crossed off. Hope it hasn't been too cold. If you want to write back, you can send it to the beer garden in Gladmore, care of Oli. You don't have to write back though. I'm sure you're really busy with the harvest. I like and love you.
Lichen, like the plant, lichen.
Penelope.
She talks about going to Tuatha Day and she talks about visiting another plane, but what she's not saying is that they went into the Hells, which was like incredibly dangerous. The part that I crossed off, it says healing up okay, and I think she would have second guessed writing that because what he's healing from is the Displacer Beast attack that gave her her Path of the Beast powers. She feels like very responsible for that. And then I was thinking when I was writing this last paragraph that she's probably written him a few letters and hasn't heard anything back, which is why she's like, oh, you don't have to write back, I'm sure you're really busy. She's kind of like making an excuse to herself about why he might not be writing back. And then I thought, I like and love you could be like a thing that they used to say to each other, like an inside joke.
Time to seal it up and send it off.
Day 7, the final day. Today's task is to make a playlist for your character. Full disclosure, I love making character playlists. I've made a bunch of them. Today I'm gonna try to make one that kind of like demonstrates Penelope's arc so far. So my goal is that like the early songs will represent Penelope before her transformation, and then we'll have some songs to sort of represent that shift, and then her leaving home, and then her like at current as an adventurer. Let's do it. All right. Penelope's vibe, pre-transformation, happy-go-lucky, cheerful. The quintessential barbarian song. Rage is a quiet thing. If you have a spooky girl character and there's not a Halsey song on her playlist, like what are you doing? And this one's about her mom. Okay. I think it's done. I gotta give it a fancy album cover, of course. Ta-da! What do the kids say? Does it slap? Is it fire? I don't know, I just think it's good. If you want to listen to this playlist, I'll put the link into the description. I always want to share my character playlist so no one ever cares. So, full disclosure, I definitely spent more than half an hour on some of these days, but after a whole week of thinking about Penelope every single day, I definitely feel like I have a deeper understanding of her as a character than I've ever had before. This also helped me consider how her experiences since the first session have changed the way that she feels and thinks and reacts. If you want to do the challenge yourself, I have all the resources that you'll need linked in the description. A document with a full list of the challenges, and even a cute little graphic that you can use on social media if you want to share your journey. Make sure to tag me if you try it out. I would love to hear how it goes. Then, once you really feel like you understand your character, you can put all of that into practice as you roleplay. Check out this video next for tips on incorporating your character knowledge into your actions and words at the table.